wine around Oz. Today we are at the Bidgeebong Winery in Wagga. Now you might think Wagga is a slightly unusual place to put a winery, but it's actually the perfect place. It's not even 2 hours to both Tumbarumba and Gundagai. We've been invited here today to talk to the winemaker about the process he has of making his wines. Now, not only do Bidgeebong make wines for their own label, but they also have the production facilities here to be able to process wines for other larger companies. Foster's is one of the companies that produces their wines here. You can see behind me, there's a whole bunch of vats here. Thousands of litres can go through this place in any given day.
Bidgeebong Winery is in an industrial park just outside Wagga Wagga, central New South Wales. The name comes from a property near Gundagai where the owners were originally going to set up their winery, but after much soul searching they decided to come here instead. The winemaker here is Andrew Burke. He has been kind enough to take us on a tour of the facilities along with some other Bidgeebong insiders. Today he's showing us how the winery processes its grapes to make its wine. And all this stuff out the back here, well, this is what we're most interested in. The white grapes get dropped into the distemmer for crushing and distemming, then pumped through a chiller down to about 10 degrees to slow the damaging microbiological processes. The juice and skin that comes out is called the must. It is then pumped into the press.
Behind me here is the press. This is where the grapes come into after they've been destemmed so that they can squish them and get all the juice out. So if you come underneath, okay, this bag here gets filled with air and then it presses the grapes gently so that nothing gets damaged in the process of juicing.
After about an hour of pressing, the juice, now separated from the skins, drops into these sumps under the press. Here the winemaker can sample the quality of the juice as it comes out. It is then pumped via large hoses through this hole and on into any number of the tanks inside. Here it is chilled again to settle excess solids to the bottom, and then the juice is siphoned or racked off those solids and then put into another tank as clean juice. The tanks are temperature controlled by sub-zero liquid CO2 pumped through these hoses. The CO2 is stored outside in this whopping tank.
Stainless steel body has chilling plates on the side. The refrigerant comes in here, has this chilling plate, acts as a heat exchanger and chills the product inside. You see the rest of the tanks have got white coats and they've got styrene wrapped. All the tanks are styrene wrapped and then an aluminium cladding around them to keep that in place. So they're actually very efficient. So we can bring a wine or a juice down to 0 degrees and it will stay there without any other influencing, and it will stay at 0 degrees for a month. Sometimes we want a warmer wine, that's why we have a couple of tanks which haven't got the insulation on, and we like to expose it there. Sometimes to get that certain malolactic fermentations going, warmer temperatures are important.
The red wine process starts off pretty much the same as the white. The big difference is that the skins are left in with the juice. So instead of the juice going off through this hole, the juice and skins are pumped into these whopping fermenters, where they will be allowed to mix together during the ferment process. Of course, if this one fills up, they can always use one of these babies over here.
The ferment takes place, and during that fermentation we turn the tank over with a pump so that it mixes all the time.
After fermentation, the juice and skins are pumped back into the press, where the skins are separated using the same large screen that is used for the white wines. From here it follows the same path as the white and is pumped in through this hole and into any number of the 26 tanks that Andrew chooses to put them in. Here the red will go through a second ferment called malolactic fermentation.
This vat alone holds 11,000 litres. And this sucker holds 40,000.
A select portion of the highest quality juice will go into oak barrels to gain the rich flavours that the oak imparts to the wine. The wine will probably sit here for 12 to 18 months.
So it's a fairly simple process. Extract the juice, clean the juice up if it's white, ferment it, clean the wine up, put it in a bottle. The reds, similar, but we get rid of the solids after fermentation. And that's the winery.
So it might not be the most beautiful place in the world for making wine, and there certainly won't be any B&Bs here anytime soon, but it is practical.